Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I feel like it's been forever since I actually sat down and filmed a video for you guys. This fall has been so hectic for me with weddings left and right and my kids and all that kind of stuff that I feel like I haven't really sat down and really wanted to film. I've been doing so many weddings and so many faces that it might sound stupid, but I haven't been wanting to do my own face, if that makes any kind of sense. It's kind of like I do so much makeup on so many people that I don't want to see makeup when I'm not doing weddings. No, it sounds stupid because I love makeup so much, but you can get tired of makeup, you know what I mean? So I actually had some time today. I cleaned my house and then I had some downtime and I was like, why don't I just sit down and film a video? So that's what I am doing here today and I'm so excited about it. So today's video, I'm not quite sure what I'm really going to call it, but I've been doing this look like non-stop lately. Every time I have an event to go to, like a birthday party or brunch or just going out in general with my husband, this is a look that I've been drawn to. And for me, this look is actually my old self would be like, this is way too dark, way too dramatic, but I've been obsessed with this. It's kind of like a mixture of dark and smoky, but still kind of not really natural, but soft. I don't know if that makes any kind of sense. I got inspired by the Dose of Colors and DESIKATY collab. I know that you guys have seen thousands of people do reviews or videos or looks with this palette, but I haven't. So if you guys are interested, just keep on watching. But I went in with this color right here. I think it's called Turbosan. It's like a purple mixed with brown with some blue flecks in it. It's super different and it's super weird, but on the eye, I am absolutely obsessed with it. It is so freaking pretty. I just dusted a couple deep browns into my transition and onto the outer part of my lid and popped that on the lid, and it's literally the quickest, easiest eye look ever, but it looks so dramatic and so sexy and sultry at the same time. And I've been obsessed with just super nude glossy lips. I've actually always been obsessed with it, but sometimes I get into my deep color kind of kick, but right now I'm into this kick. So I hope you guys enjoy watching this video. I am so excited to be back and I hope you guys are excited to see a new video from me. I think my next video is going to be a fall clothing haul. I don't think I'll probably try on the clothes. I don't know, I'll probably just split screen it as always. But yeah, I'll stop rambling now. Oh, and by the way, how cute is this sweater? Look at all these details, pearls and golds. This sweater will be in my clothing haul. But anyways, I'll stop rambling now. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you aren't subscribed, make sure you hit that little button down below before you go. Join my little family, subscribe to my channel, follow me on all my social medias, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, I guess. I'm not really ever on Twitter. I'm mainly on Snapchat or Instagram. But yeah, just make sure you follow me on all my social medias. Give this video a thumbs up and let's just jump into the tutorial. Alright guys, so starting off with skincare on our face today, I'm going in with this Milk Cosmetics cooling water just to depuff and kind of hydrate underneath my eyes a little bit. I just place it there and then I lightly tap it into my skin. Then moving on to primer, I am using the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. I believe this is the purple one. I don't remember the exact name, but it's such a good hydrating primer and it gets super tacky after, as well as it gives you this really pretty glow to your skin. I love Becca primers. Next, I'm going to take this NYX Cosmetics concealer, HD concealer in medium. Because this is a pink peachy tone, I wanted to hydrate. I wanted to conceal my inner halo, and also in that inner corner of your eye where it can be a little bit dark even after you place eyeshadow, it's still there. I wanted to cover that up and hide it, as well as prime my eyelids. So once we are done placing that there, I'm going to go ahead and set it just using any translucent powder that you have or any matte white shade eyeshadow that you have as well. I ended up getting a little bit of eyeshadow underneath my eyes later on in the video, so I had to wipe away that concealer, but had I not done that, I would have really liked it because I've done it before. Now we're going to jump into Beach Blanket by ColourPop. I honestly love ColourPop single shadows. They're such good shadows. So I'm going to be taking a Sigma E40 and we're going to be dusting this into our crease as our first transition shade, just back and forth in windshield wiper motions, just really buffing everything out and just laying down the base of this eye. This eye look is going to be super simple, but it's going to be a little bit precise. So once we are done buffing that into our crease, I am going to go in to Freckles by the ColourPop I Love Serahi.
collab and just doing the exact same thing that we just did with Beach Blanket, but with Freckles, just dusting it back and forth on top of that beach blanket and windshield wiper motions with the exact same brush. Both of these colors mixed together is going to give you that perfect transition color. So once we are done really buffing that out in circular motions, I'm going to jump into our next shade, and I'm going to be going into a Morphe M433 with this shade, and this shade is called Little Boat by ColourPop as well. And we're going to be doing this a little bit lower into our crease, kind of on the outer part of our lid, into that V, and dusting it into the lower part of the crease, about halfway into the eye, just really buffing it in together. All three of these colors look so good together, and literally if you didn't want to do this eye look and you wanted to keep it into a very matte eye, I love these color combinations together. So once you buff it in halfway, you just want to really just continue buffing it and doing circular motion so you don't get any harsh lines whatsoever. Then switching back into that Sigma E40 with no additional product, you're just going to go back in and just make sure you don't have any harsh lines and just make sure that everything's buffed in well together. So now going into Noche from the ColourPop I Love Serahi collab. Again, I am taking a Sigma E25 and just doing this into my outer V, just onto my lid and onto the outer part of my crease, just really deepening up that outer V and creating some depth and dimension into the eye. I love this eye look. Like literally, I could have just left it just like this and I would have been obsessed with it, but I had to be a little bit extra, but that's okay. So once we are done placing that into the outer V, we're going to go back into that Morphe M433 and just buff everything in together and just really make sure there's no harsh lines. Going back in with that Morphe M33 just really ensures that everything's really blended out and seems very seamless. So once we're done with that, we're going to go back into the Sigma E40, pick up a little bit more of that beach blanket and just buff everything in together, just being a little bit tedious with this eye look. Now going into the star of the show, I'm going to jump into the Dose of Colors Desi collaboration, the girls palette, and take Turbosan. And with this, I believe it had to be a wet formula, so I dipped my finger into a little bit of water and then dipped it into the shadow and then started to use my finger to place it onto the eye. Honestly, guys, Truthfully, I'm not a fan of applying eyeshadow with my fingers. I do feel like it can be a little bit messy and not as precise as I would want it. Although I don't like it, I still am obsessed with this shadow. It's so freaking pretty, but as you can see, I got it onto the bottom part of my lid, and I just feel like it can be a little bit messy, so it's not my number one choice on how to apply shadow. So once I am done applying it, I'm going to go back into that Morphe M433 and just buff out those edges to make sure it is at least the most clean that I can get it. But as I told you earlier, I went in with a makeup wipe and had to clean everything that I placed underneath my eyes out and then clean the outside part of my eye and really create that cat eye illusion. Then going into Suze, I think is from the palette. It's a highlighting shade, and I place that into the inner corners of my eye, and I love the way that this eye look ended up turning out, but I do get a little bit annoyed that I do have to place the shadow with my finger. I don't know if it's because my fingers are chunky or I have long nails. I don't know what it is, but it's always so difficult for me to apply shadow with my hands. Like, I just prefer to use a brush. I'm a brush girl. So once again, I went in with that brush. I just blended everything out and buffed out those edges, and then using a makeup wipe to clean everything up. Now moving on to underneath the eyes, I used Remmel's Eye Kohl in black just to line my inner lash line, and then taking Kat Von D's tattoo liner, and I wanted to place a very thin, precise line on my upper lash line, just so when I went ahead and placed the lashes, everything blended in well together and you would kind of hide the lash band. Using a fresh pair of lashes from Flutter Lashes Intoxicating. I'm so obsessed with these. They're so pretty, and I've always been obsessed with them, but when I pulled out a fresh pair, like what? Like, I haven't used a fresh pair and brand new lashes in forever. So now moving on to foundation in our base of our face. I went into this RCMA VK10 palette, I believe it is, and I placed this color into the center part of my face. I love mixing these two foundations together, and I love this foundation because it's 50% pigment, so it really covers really well. So I use this in the center of my face, and then I use EX1 foundation in the outside perimeter of my face. These two mixed together, honestly, they're my favorite two foundations, so I mix them together because I like to use both. I don't know if that makes any kind of sense, but I do feel like it made my face look completely flawless and clear and smooth, and I love the end result of these two foundations together. So once we are done really blending everything out and buffing it into the skin, I'm going to jump into the Kat Von D Shade and Light contour palette in the creamy palette, and I'm taking the darkest shade of that palette and placing it to the high points of my forehead just to really contour and chisel out my face and make me look like I lost like 10 pounds. You know what I mean? Anyways, I applied this to my cheekbones and underneath my jawline, my nose, and underneath my bottom lip. I've been doing this lately just to really give me that full pouty effect in my lips. And honestly, guys, this cream contour kit blends out like a freaking dream. It literally is so creamy. As you can see, like when I see a lot of YouTubers place all this stuff on their face, it makes me cringe because they take forever to blend it out. But this one blends out so easily, even though it was sitting on my skin for a good bit. Like, can you see that? And it's such a perfect contour shade. So if you guys are medium skin and you guys want to test out this palette, literally test out this palette. Her contour shades are amazing. I'm not too huge of a fan of her highlight shades. I am in the powder palette, but as far as a cream palette goes, I would just stick to the contour shades, if that makes any kind of sense. And my nose contour here, guys, I can't. So anyways, moving on to concealer, just to really clean up our face, I am taking NYX HD concealer once again and just putting this on my forehead, my chin, my cupid's bow, and my nose. I love this concealer to highlight my face, but I don't really love it as like my full coverage concealer completely underneath my eyes, which is why I'm just using it in the center part of my face just to give me that highlighted effect. Once everything's blended out, I'm going to go into Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Medium and use this to conceal underneath my eyes. Honestly, you guys hear me say this all the time. This concealer is a hit or miss for me, but when you use the smallest amount, it's amazing. And as you will be able to see here, I went a little bit too much with this concealer, so I do feel like it looked a little bit cakey underneath my eyes. My fault, not really the concealer's fault. The littlest thing of this concealer goes the longest way, guys, so remember that. So once I am done really blending out that concealer, I'm going to go into DERMABLEND loose powder and set my face. I'm going to do this off camera though, guys, because you guys see me do this all the time. I basically just place it in the parts that I want to be set and then just dust it all away quickly. And then once we are done with that, I'm going to jump into the CARLI BYBEL palette and take this shade right here. This is from her first palette with BH Cosmetics, and use this to highlight my face. And I honestly love these highlights. Like, I feel like I am so late to that bandwagon, but I really love her highlights in that palette. I don't like her eyeshadows in that palette. I don't know if it's the shadows or the colors, but as far as the highlights go, I really love the highlights in that palette. So once we are done with that, I'm going to jump into the Benefit Cheekathon, I want to say it's called, palette. I haven't used this in forever. I honestly forgot that I had it. So I'm taking HOOLA from that palette and just going over everywhere where I've contoured and just bronzing up my skin a little bit more. HOOLA is such an oldie but a goodie, and I honestly forgot all about it, but I'm back on that train. So I'm going back into that palette and I'm taking CORALISTA as a blush from that palette. I am not a huge blush person. I always like a small hint of blush. I know some people love themselves some blush, but I'd like just a bronzy look and just a hint of color on my cheeks, not too much, which is why you don't see me having a lot of blush right here. Then I'm taking Tatcha Dewy setting spray and just setting my face lightly with that, and then moving on to the under eyes. I am taking that black eyeliner once again and lining my lower waterline and going back into Freckles and just buffing everything underneath my eyes. I'm basically taking all those same shadows that I put on top of my eyes and buffing them underneath together, just making one big shade basically. Now I'm taking Freckles and I'm taking a small definer brush and just lining underneath that black and just really deepening up and smoking out that lower lash line. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and place some mascara, trying not to poke myself in the eyes and not make myself water. So now moving on to lips, I am taking Jordana's COCO LOCO, I think as it is, lip liner and lining my entire lips with that. So I'm going to go in with a super nude lip liner, but what I like to do first is to go in with a dark lip liner first, just to really give me that pouty effect and give myself an illusion that I have these big lips when I really don't. Is this man really cutting the grass right now as I'm doing a voiceover? How rude. But I am putting these lines underneath my Cupid's bow and on my bottom lip. So when I go in with that nude lip liner, it's going to give me the illusion of having like Angelina Jolie lips. At least that's what I like to think. I get, even though I probably don't, but that's okay. I am using DESIXKATY No Shade lipstick, and I'm a little bit too tan for this lipstick, which is another reason why I'm going in with a darker lip liner underneath. And then I am topping it off with the over the top lip gloss, and that basically completes this look. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this tutorial. I missed you guys so much, and I can't wait for my next video. I will see you guys soon. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.